Yeah, first and foremost, I thought it was a brilliant match all around. You have two teams out there who played football. I think it was an entertaining match. In the end of the day, both teams had opportunities to score goals, excellent opportunities, and the result is what it is. We've come down into Honduras. It's a tie. It's a good result, taking away, the fact that the competition ends for us today. It's not an easy place to come down, play in front of this crowd, which gave great energy to the opponents, and our guys handled it fantastic. And on that note, I give a big level of respect to the supporters of Motagua. As our team was walking off the field today, giving Forge a standing ovation. You don't get that a lot when you're playing in the Concacaf region. I think that's a big level of respect to them, and it's also a level of respect to Forge, our club, and what we've been doing in this competition over the last few years.
Thank you.
Hi, Bobby. Hope you're doing well. Obviously, as Charlie said, not the result that you were probably looking for, but just maybe opinions on the game itself and maybe what that looks like now going into the weekend with Pacific in the CAMPL final.
Yeah, I think overall, when you look at this game, like I said before, it was an excellent football match. Conditions make it a little bit different. It's not an easy pitch to play football on. That's why you saw, few challenges in the midfield, balls moving a little bit more direct to get onto the field. I think both teams wanted to limit risk in their own half of the pitch. But like I said, we've created some excellent opportunities. We look at the first half with Navarro, second half with Babuli, and then Navarro's probably got another 3 on his plate there, where he's done a good job of getting in behind them. But credit to the opponent as well. They've had those opportunities to score. So, I thought it was a pretty even game all around. And great effort from Forge. It's something we've shown over the year in this competition, whether we're playing at home or whether we're playing in Central America. It doesn't make a difference to us. We've come down here and we've played football. We've played our football. And I think that's the most important thing when you move forward. Yes, we're disappointed that we're not in the final tomorrow. But you put into context now, you've gone out of the competition to a club that is going into their 3rd final in 4 years and is, won the most games in this competition. We've played 2 legs in Canada and in Honduras, and they're both ties. As for Sunday, that's a whole different level of a game. The intensity and everything that goes into this is one thing. We'll flip that switch, which these guys do excellent from week to week. We've seen it going from Canadian Championship, the league, to Concacaf League. It's what our season is. We're at 40 games right now. The rest of CPL, I think, is sitting at around 29 to 31 games. So Forge keeps on going. We've got one game on Sunday in front of our home crowd, and we want to bring that 3rd North Star Shield home to Hamilton.
Milton.
Hi, Bobby. It was a great match to watch. I'm interested in something you said there about flipping the switch, because you've had to do that so much in the last 3 years. What, to the outsider, could you explain how that's done?
I think we just get on with it. There's a game in 3 days. What choice do you have? And all jokes aside, it's you just go. And sometimes I say to the guys, and I know that they give me a hard time a little bit behind the scenes, but we're playing football. It's a beautiful sport. It's excellent. I'll tell you one thing. I loved walking out of the tunnel today and hearing the energy from that crowd. That crowd wasn't cheering for us. Of course, they're cheering for Motagua, but that's football. That runs through your veins. And if you're part of this game, that's what you want to do. So we come out of this one. There's disappointment, of course, but on Sunday we're playing in front of our crowd for a championship. I think as a footballer, that's what you want to do. That's what this club has been doing for 3 years, and we keep on raising the bar. We keep on raising the bar, I think, for our league, and I think the expectations going forward in the Concacaf region for clubs from the CPL. Of course, for us, Sunday is important because it gives us a 3rd North Star Shield if everything goes well, and it makes sure that we're competing in Concacaf League again. Every year we've taken one extra step, and maybe next year is the year we take one more step to a final.
One last question, Jose Hermano Rodriguez.
Thank you, Coach. I wanted to ask you a little bit about experience, because Motagua is a very experienced side. They have been through this a lot, especially in this tournament. And so I want to ask you, in terms of experience for them, how big a role was that experience played tonight, and for you moving forward as well, because within the opportunity to get into the final and not being able to make it, I'm sure there's a sense of motivation as well to getting another opportunity later on and to win this type of games, whether you're at home or on the road.
Yeah, of course. Every game like this makes you better in the future. There's no doubt of that. I think, the experience of Motagua, well, to be honest, I think today is an even game. You can look at it, and of course, they've missed a goal, I think, in the 90th minute, that on most days on a little bit of a smoother pitch, the ball goes in. But the game has been even. And I think the key to that is you stick to your identity, you stick to your principles. And that's the one thing we want to do. And I think it's the same thing that Motagua does. And it's what made the match very interesting from both ends. And I know, okay, for the coaches in the moment, it's a little bit of a tough one to bear, not knowing which way the result was going. But for a neutral observer, I think it was an excellent match of football in CONCACAF with two teams out there playing football. So, yeah, experience helps. I think what you take from this in the future is, again, increased confidence in playing in different areas. We're a club that's 3 years old. We don't have 70 years of history. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what the history of Motagua is exactly as a club, but I'm sure it's a lot more than 3 years. But you grow day by day, and these only allow you to grow and allows these players to grow in their careers, whether that's with Forge or whether it's continued beyond Forge.
Hey, Kyle, obviously it probably hurts to go out in a game like that, but I'm sure you're probably quite proud of the way that you guys played today. Just maybe how did you see things out there?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose a semifinal, it sucks. But I think when you take a step back and you look at the entire scope of the situation, there's nothing anyone in our locker room can hang their head about. The boys have to be proud of how we've come down here. We've gotten a result on the road. We tied. Okay, yeah. You could say we're not playing in the final, and as I said before, that stinks. But the bigger picture is incredible, man. It was an exciting game. It's a tough place to play. The atmosphere was fantastic. But listen, we took one of the biggest teams in CONCACAF in 2 games, and they didn't beat us. So we have to be proud of that.
Brandon Q.
Hey, Kyle. Obviously, as Charlie let off there, not the way that you guys would have wanted to end your time in the competition this year, but just maybe thoughts on the game from your perspective on the field there, and maybe what the context is now switching over to the CAMPL final on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, the pitch wasn't in an ideal condition. It's a difficult place to play. You can see the ball was bouncing all over, but that's it for both teams. I think it made for an exciting game. They're a fantastic team. They bring a lot of energy into the game. They're dangerous on those crosses. They get up for it. They fight for everything. And I think, as I said before, our team, we matched it. We matched the intensity. We were up for it. It's there's something special coming into a stadium like this down south that's so much different than anything we see in the CPL. And to see the boys rise to the occasion and now we have that experience under our belt, it's only positive for the future. So it's, as I said, I think there's a lot more positives than negatives to take, even though it is a defeat. But yeah, it was a hard-fought game. There's chances on both ends. I think Navarro on another day he scores one of those and it makes for an interesting game. But as I said, they had chances too. So,
Any other question for Kyle? Last question with Steve Melton.
Yeah, hi Kyle. Does this translate into anything for Sunday? Does it help or hinder or any? I mean, the travel and the fatigue, or the fact that you've had the game in, you've got some kind of another sense of yourself or whatever. Is there any sort of relationship between this game and Sunday?
I think it's a motivating factor. I mean, I'm not in the business of losing finals, and I know I have a group of guys in that locker room right now who's just as hungry to lift another trophy for our team in this CPL. We have a desire to keep pushing things forward, to keep being that gold standard for the league, and I don't think we have any business of going home and dragging our asses, so to say. So I think this is only going to motivate us. Obviously now it's a quick turnover, but we've been doing it for a whole season, so why would it be any different for a final?